Hey guys, so I have had a super rushed feeling morning and it's all Rose's fault. She usually wakes me up sometime between 6:45 and 7 and it's so reliable that I have stopped setting an alarm, but for some reason today she was just super quiet and I woke up at 7:40 and I know that doesn't sound like super oversleeping, but it's Wednesday and Lisa's live stream. If you guys don't ride along with us on Lisa Daly's live stream, you should do that. I will link her channel down below. But it starts, for me, it starts at 10 a.m. and I like to run when I get up and I have to walk Rosa, and you know, breakfast is a good thing to do. And just, yeah, by the time 10 o'clock rolled around, I felt kind of frazzled when I sat down. And then I had to leave the live stream early because tomorrow I'm doing a virtual library visit with some readers in Austin, which I'm very excited about. We're going to talk about Spell and Spindle, and that should be really fun. And today the librarian and I had sort of a test call because they did not use Zoom, they used another thing, and I wanted to make sure I knew how to work it and just like chat about the visit and what we're going to do and everything. So yeah, all of that's over now. And the one thing I had, like the big thing I had on my to-do list today, was to film this vlog and to work on Dragon Balloon. And I am super excited to work on this today because I reached a key stage for me in the brainstorming process of this book. And you know what that is? I told somebody about it. And I don't just mean like how I'm talking to you guys and saying, oh, I have a new idea. I mean, I, in explicit detail, described the book to someone. And this is something I'm always nervous to do because I'm not talking about pitching it. Like, the pitch is easy. I wrote the pitch already. I got on the phone with my friend Lindsay, who you guys know I have talked about many times on this channel, and we were just exchanging our current ideas about books and what we're currently working on. And she already knew the premise of this book. We had been texting about it a little bit, but while I was in the Ozarks, I came up with some stuff I was really excited about, like what I consider to be the meat of the book, like the character, the main character, her, you know, the postulates, her wants and needs, all that stuff, her arc and how it ties into the plot, like that, the core of it. I knew what I wanted it to be. So why is it so hard for me to tell somebody this? Well, that's because when I start rambling about a book, in the past, it has happened where I have, whether it's because it's genuinely not a good idea or because I just lack confidence, I get halfway through the ramble and I start to think, oh God, this is embarrassing. This is so stupid. And now this person I'm talking to is going to have to gently tell me that, no, this doesn't make sense or I don't understand. And while I've never had a friend be like, that idea is stupid, or even try to talk me out of it, I have definitely tried to explain books to friends before, writer friends, and they ask a lot of questions because they're not understanding it, because I'm not explaining it well, because I don't actually understand it myself. I overcomplicate things. I overcomplicate my books. That is just, it's just a thing I do, and I really try to focus on simplifying as much as possible. So yeah, I was super nervous that I was going to tell Lindsay about my idea for the core of this book, and as it came out of my mouth, I was going to start to realize it was stupid. But instead what happened is I was pacing back and forth in my apartment, and I was like slowly starting to tell her about this, and the more I talked about it, the more I got that like kind of goosebumpy feeling like that you get when you know you have just something you want to write so bad. And Lindsay's reaction was perfect. When I got to the thing I was most excited about, she kind of gasped. And I knew right there. I was like, okay, yes, no, this isn't overcomplicated. This is good. This is a good idea. And she agreed. Thank God. So that really is a key part of the brainstorming phase for me. And it just made me even more excited to really get to work on this book. So it's currently getting pretty close to time for me to take Rosa on a walk, which is actually good because I was rushing around doing so many things this morning and like jumping from, you know, the live stream to this meeting about tomorrow, and like my brain's kind of been in a bunch of different places. And I have the dragon balloon document open. It has not changed since I showed it to you guys last time. It's like the same. I haven't added anything to it. And I'm just going to read through it really slowly. And then I'm going to take Rosa on a walk, because walks are magic when it comes to brainstorming and coming up with new ideas. And then I'm going to come back and probably have a little lunch and then just really start mapping this out. The other thing is, I can't remember how much I talked about this last week, but December is a really, really light work month for me. And that is by design. I've talked about this enough, I think, in the past, but I just went overboard ever since COVID started. I got so worried that I didn't know what would happen to my freelance work. I didn't know if I would struggle to find clients. So I can't say I was saying yes to everything, because I don't take on a ghostwriting project unless I really do like the premise and feel like the client and I would be good partners. But I never closed my Reedsy account. I was constantly taking requests. And while I got everything done and I feel like I did a good job, I just really broke my back like April through November writing so many books. I should actually add that up. How many books did I actually write this year? You know what? I don't know. Let me think. Oh, what am I doing? I have a spreadsheet. I don't need to count on my fingers. Okay, so this year I wrote 7 novels. I did what turned out to be an 8,000 word outline for an 8th novel for a client. And then I had the video game project, which I should really tally up all of the words, but I can guarantee you it's over 100,000 words. So yeah, I wrote a lot this year. And I left my Reedsy open because I wanted to get work lined up for next year, and I do still have a few things on my plate right now. I don't have 0 work in December. It's not that at all. But I just basically have one client who does not have a deadline, and we're just working together on finishing up a trilogy. The first book of which is not published yet, so we can take our time with the 3rd book and kind of get all our ducks in a row and go back and tinker with the first 2 books and make sure everything is, you know, works. So that's it. That's all I have for this month. And I do have multiple clients lined up starting in January. So I really want to make sure that December, I will easily slip into lazy mode if I just say, oh, well, I barely have any work to do, so I'll just watch YouTube all day. I could fall into it so easily, guys. I can't just be super lazy and laid back and in vacation mode all of December, because that will actually make January really hard for me. From experience, I know what I need to do is just like scale it back, but still do a couple of hours of non-stressful, not deadline pressury work a day, and then takes a couple days off here and there, and that's enough of a break for me that I will feel ready to get back to my normal schedule in January. So what I actually did was I finally started using my planner. I switched planners. I used to use Passion Planner, which I really love, but I found that after years of using it, I loved all of the features, but I just never use the daily, like, hour by hour schedule thing. And so I found this Clever Fox planner, which has a lot of the same features. Like, you can do all the mind. It has all the room for like goal setting, and then mind map your goals and split them up into smaller goals and assign them, blah, blah, blah. But the difference is that the first half is all monthly calendar, and then the second half is weekly calendar. Whoop. And it's just like every day you just get a little checklist. Here's my goal, here are the priorities, here's the things I have to do today. And then there's like more goal breaking down on the opposite page. And that's a week. And that's all I want. I like to have short to-do lists because I try to keep every day to like 2 or maybe 3 big picture things. Like one might be add 3,000 words to this outline, like big things that I know are going to take me a couple of hours. And that's it. And I just want to check them off. I don't want to plan out what hours I do them or anything like that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this planner. If you guys use Clever Fox, let me know if you've been enjoying it too. So far it seems really great. So I started planning out my December because I need to stay organized or I will slip into that lazy mode that I talked about earlier. So I decided what I want to do is get 20,000 words written on that client's book, on that 3rd book in the fantasy trilogy. And my goal for Dragon Balloon for December is by the end of this month, I want to have a really, really basic beat sheet of the story. This is something I've been doing more and more since you guys know I got that Save the Cat software, and I really love it. I want to keep using it. I like it a lot. And with my past few ghostwriting clients, especially that one I talked about, it was a young adult sci-fi novel with time travel. And, you know, timeline's pretty important in novels like that. And it was a tricky story. And I used the Save the Cat beat sheet and actually like swapped it back and forth with her. I gave her like the bare bones. Here are the beats. I don't know how they tie together yet, but let's say the story goes in this order. What do you think? And I gave it to her and she would come back with some thoughts and we just kind of like fleshed it out into a big outline from there. And that worked really well. And the thing I like about just doing a super basic beat sheet first is that it lets me keep that flexibility and that sort of malleableness that I really, really want in the early stages of an idea like this. I don't want to lock myself into anything, including like big things like what's the inciting incident of this book? I want to be able to change that later if I need to, because I don't know the story well enough yet to tell you with 100% certainty this is what all of these beats are. And when I just have my whiteboard and I start sticking beats up with post-it notes, if I change my mind, I can just take a post-it note and move it somewhere else. It just still feels really flexible, and that's what I want here. So by the end of December, that whiteboard is going to be filled up with post-it notes. That's my goal. That's it for this month. And that's super doable. I have this document open. I've got 2,000 words of brainstorming. I feel like I could do a pretty decent job of mapping out this main character's journey now. But Lindsay asked me some great questions during our chat. This is why it's also very helpful to talk to people about your book, about your idea. She asked me some questions that I definitely need to know the answer to before I start writing. So I'm going to brainstorm that a little bit more in the document and think about this while I'm taking a walk. And I will check back in with you guys on my progress a little later today. Okay, so the walk helped, as it always does, and lunch helped, as it always does. And I came back and got back down to my brainstorming document, and I just kind of let myself add a few more ideas that I had while I was walking. And I think what my plan is tomorrow morning, first thing, like the first work thing I do of the day, because that's when I tend to get my best work done, is I'm going to get some Post-its and start adding a few beats, beating this thing out. 2 important things that I figured out today. I'm gonna go turn that air filter off. Okay, 2 important things that I figured out today. One is that originally I was kind of seeing this as being a book with 2 points of view, like I said. And I remember saying that this character I have really figured out, and this character I need to develop a little bit more. I think what I'm actually coming to realize is this really is the primary character, and this character is very important and her story is important, but I think I don't think it's going to be a 50-50 split. I was originally seeing it as chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, etc. I don't think that's it. In fact, and again, this is why the beat sheet is so helpful, I'm kind of thinking that this point of view isn't going to come into play until we get all the way through Act 1 and we start Act 2. Like, it might almost kind of be sort of a B story. I'm not sure yet. I still need to think about that. Another thing I'm thinking is that this might be an omniscient point of view. I've come up with a couple, or developed a few more characters that are happening in this story, and I'm starting to see their relevance to this story, and I might need to spend some time in their heads. So this book might be, I'm pretty sure, third person, although I won't say no to first person yet, but I think it's gonna be third person, this one character, and then maybe omniscient, where we spend most of the time in this one character's head, but we also visit some of the other characters and see what's going on there. Not sure yet. And again, it's going to be less page time than this. I'm almost certain of that. So yeah. The other thing is, what I figured out that I was so excited to tell Lindsay, and that I got more excited the more I said it out loud, is that this character has a secret, because I love when characters have secrets. And her secret is that, I want to think of a way to put this that shows you why I'm excited without being too spoilery about the book. When she gets to her break into 2, when it's time to kind of get into the fun and games, the fun and games for her is going to be that she is with a group of people who think she's someone else, and she is going along with it and pretending to be that someone else, because she is also trying to figure things out, secrets about this someone else. The someone else is a very, very important character to her and to the group of people. And yeah, that's all I want to say about it for now. But obviously she will be exposed at some point, and she's going to have a hell of a time keeping this charade up with this group of people and getting them to trust her. And of course she will like them and genuinely befriend them and actually eventually want them to know who she really is. But she has to keep up the charade. And then obviously exposing her, that scene where, you know, everything comes crumbling down is just going to be so fun to write. So I'm already starting to see all of the potential scenes here, and specifically how they're going to fit into like the fun and games section. Like the fun and games section is like the longest, if you do Save the Cat, it's the longest chunk of your book. And for me, it's always actually been kind of hard to come up with enough scenes. That part comes out a little bit thin for me. And for this one, I can see so many great different scenes where I can mess with her. And it's exciting to me that I'm still so early in the brainstorming phase, yet I can see that usually thin section being filled out for me. So what I'm gonna do is tomorrow morning, first thing, get up and just start putting some beats on this board. And I think I'm going to mostly beat out that character's beat sheet first and save hers, this one, for when I'm a little bit more developed on her because of the way they tied together. Anyway, that's my plan for tomorrow. I will see you then. Bye. Good morning. That went by really fast. I got up much earlier this morning thanks to a certain someone who is now fast asleep once more. And I did my workout and had my shower and had my coffee. And where is my coffee? And I got to work on this book just a little bit. Honestly, I've only done maybe half an hour of actual work on this book. I sat down at my desk and I opened up that Dragon Balloon document and I started scanning through it and picking out plot points that are a definite. Things, beats that have to happen. And I just wrote them down on the Post-it. I mean, they were not detailed. Some of them were literally like 3 words. this person meets this person. Some of them were closer to one sentence, but again, little to no detail, really just like plot points that also contain an emotional beat. For example, I told you guys the main character is carrying a secret and pretending to be someone she's not. Obviously, the moment she's exposed, that's gonna be a big emotional scene as well as an important plot point. So I wrote all of those down on Post-its, and now it's time to add them to my whiteboard. And that's it. That's all I've got. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 beats. Obviously, I think there's more to work with in my document, but these were the ones that I was like really sure of and saw pretty clearly. If I'm being honest, I'm kind of surprised that they're, I wouldn't say evenly spread, but I expected them when I sat down today. I thought I had Act 1 way, way more figured out than any other act. But I do have more in Act 1 than anywhere else. And as usual, Fun and Games is gonna need some help. But I've got her low point. This is like, if you can't see it, the start of the Dark Night of the Soul. I've got how she rallies and what happens to move into Act 3. And I've got, the main confrontation and the big surprise at the end. And then that final image to leave the reader with, which is, not bad to start with and not bad for, 25, 30 minutes worth of work this morning. So that's where things are right now. And I am probably going to be working on this more today, but I also have that virtual library visit this afternoon, which I'm excited about, and I've got to edit and upload this vlog for tomorrow. So I'm not sure how much more I'll get done, but that's the progress that I've made so far this week. And I hope you're having a great writing week as well. And let me know how your stuff's going down in the comments below. And I will see you guys on Monday with another video. Bye.